He's traveled the world playing the drums. He's world renowned, a great professor, and you're about to meet him next. I am so thrilled.
I'm equally as thrilled. It's always great to see you, Phil.
World-class percussionist, professor at Berklee College of Music. Where did it all start?
Started at the age of 10. I had a dream,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Practiced hard, took lessons, practiced hard more, and this is the end result, you know? I feel like, I probably reached my apex, with Tavares and Beaver Brown, but I haven't. I said there's a few more things I need to do. And one is my own band and put together a great rhythm section with great vocalists. I've always had the ambition to do this, I played behind Tavares, John Cafferty, all great singers. But this is special to me. I think of all the gigs that I've done in the past, I think this is the one. You know what? We're going to start at the top and not work down. Because I've always said sky is the first stop. So we're going to play this concert at Berklee College.
Did you have to learn that along the way?
Pardon?
Did you have to learn that Rubicon, that it all has a metered place in life? What were some of the lessons you learned along the road of life? There must have been quite a few.
I've been out there and I've shared the stage with, all the top artists. Marvin Gaye, B.B. King, Ray Charles, Temptations, The Four Tops, Aretha Franklin, George Benson, you name it. And I watched.
This is gold.
I was a student.
You're gold.
And I'm still a student. I watched what to do and what not to do. And I learned a lot about the business. I've learned to, step on the gas when I need to, and step on the brake when I needed to. So, and I was taking lessons up until a few years ago. And I tell my students, I'm learning more from you than you from me. I may be a professor, but I'm professed to know everything. I only profess to know what I know and what works. Because I've always said that, once the door of opportunity opens up, luck gets you in the room, talent keeps you in the room.
Have your successes been a blueprint that you've written down and say, this is what I'm going for? Or were they seat of the pants in the right place, the right time, and you got it?
Right. It's all about, being prepared. Like I tell my students, I say, there's thousands of good drummers on every block. Thousands.
What's the difference then?
You want to be the special one down every 100th block. That, I've always said the 8 bullet points of what I think a great musician is feel, time, finesse, touch, interpretation. And every note must have soul, attitude, and character. And the closer you get to those 8 attributes, the closer you become to be successful in the business.
All right. So take all 8 of those right now. I want you to throw them into the bowl here. We're going to mix them up. I have a whisk. What does the drum beat of your life sound like?
The drum beat of my life.
Yeah.
Well, I think that the only legacy you can leave is what you do with your name. I'm continuing to play. I practice every day. I practiced before I came here. Because I'm trying to get better at my craft.
Sure.
I feel like I'm never at my best, at my apex. And maybe I never will reach my apex, but at least I think I could get close to it if I keep practicing.
Jackie, are you enjoying the steps along the way to that apex? Because you have climbed from the very humble beginnings, right?
Yes.
I mean, if anyone has humble beginnings, Jackie Santos.
Man, I used to practice on garbage cans.
All right.
I practice on garbage cans.
What does that tell another kid who's watching this right now?
I tell my students, I say, you know what? You can't tell me in 24 hours that you can't put aside 2 hours to practice your craft. You can't tell me that. I don't care if it's 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, half hour there, but quantity is always better than quality.
Right.
I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Quality is better than quantity. You know, you could take 15 minutes. Okay, let me practice my rhythms. Let me get my hands in shape,
Yep.
right? Let me get on the drum kit. The hi-hat, the snare drum, and the bass drum is the foundation of everything you're ever going to play. Master that. The toms and the cymbals are an embellishment of the foundation. And I've always said, having all the facility of, all the playing fast and what we call in the business having chops,
Yep.
that's frosting on a cake. But you better have a whole lot of cake before you put the frosting on.
All right, fill this in. Are you ready? What does it say to you? How does it speak to you? What does it say to you? When you're hearing those sounds, what's it saying?
Rhythm, feel, soul, church. You always have to play from your soul abyss. Deep down.
Translate that.
In other words, you go deep down in your soul, and that's where you have to play. You have to feel every note that you're playing. Every note has to have what I said before, is attitude and soul and character. And it's not playing demonstrative. It's not playing heavy-handed. It's playing what I call class and finesse and touch.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when someone looks at you, you say, wow, it could sound heavy, and it could sound, the beat could be fat, have a big sound, but it has touch, and it sounds professional.
More of this amazing discussion in a minute, but first, please like, follow, and share The Phil Show now. I was thinking lately about the music I grew up with. Chicago, Billy Joel, some of the greatest artists, Michael Jackson and others. Today it's different. In fact, the music today is a complete different universe from, the Paul Ankas and the Frank Sinatras. But there's one thing that needs to be told and needs to be nurtured, and that is that music has to continue to be that conduit for our souls. It's the first thing that normally is cut in schools. It shouldn't be. Thanks to places like Berklee College of Music and others like it, we still have places to go where music can become not only relevant in our society, but also a connection to our souls. And that, my friends, is just a thought. Your comments are really important to us, so comment below because we really want to know what you're thinking here at The Phil Show Now. Now, back to the amazing discussion on The Phil Show Now. Jackie, you were on the road with Tavares.
Yes.
A lot of time out there, right?
Oh my God, I spent, 15 years with them. But it's my life, it's what I do, and being on the road with them. I can remember going out for 2 months at a time and coming home for a week and going out for another month, and then when I joined Beaver Brown, I was on the bus all the time.
Yep.
It was mostly bus tours, but it was a great experience. I was playing with disco bands, and when I got that call in 1978 from Ralph Tavares, God rest his soul, I was playing at a place called the Engine Company in Rhode Island, East Providence. And I was playing, and the manager says, "You got a call from Mexico City." And I knew it was him. So I said, "Ralph, how did you find me?" He says, "I was calling around looking for you." He says, "Quit the band." He said, "You are now a member of Tavares."
Wow.
And they flew me out to Mexico City. I played Guadalajara. I played Mexico City. I played Acapulco, Mazatlan. And
was it pure adrenaline that was getting you from one city to the next?
yes, it was.
Sure.
It was my life made a 360 in one phone call.
What's it like being in front of huge crowds on a consistent basis?
The biggest crowd, I think it was the first month I was in the band, it was the Houston Astrodome, and we opened up for Michael Jackson. It was Michael's on that gig. It was George Benson, and I think Peebo Bryson, and we were next to closer. And I was 55,000 people. That was the first month I was in the band. So
When did it hit you that you were on the same level as the world's greatest entertainer?
probably that moment.
Wow.
Probably that moment when I said, I'm looking at Michael Jackson and watching him perform. I said, I'm on the stage with Michael Jackson. I'm on the stage with George Benson. I'm on the stage with Marvin Gaye. I can remember sitting at a bus talking to Marvin Gaye. We didn't even talk music. We're just talking life in general.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I learn from my students. I always feel like I can get better. I always feel there's something that I could work on that make me a better musician, a better player.
And what would that do for you?
Makes me whole.
How so?
To know that the gift that God gave me,
What? What happens to that gift that God gave you, Jackie Santos? Because now you're starting to talk. Now you're starting to open up the door that people want to look behind.
well,
Because you've been such an inspiration, because you've been such a leader.
He gave me a gift, right?
Tell me about that gift.
So I knew from an early age when I first picked up a pair of drumsticks that He gave me a talent. So what am I going to do with this talent that He gave me? I knew that I had something. It was special. So I had to seek out teachers. Chick Boucher, the late Chick Boucher, was my first drum teacher. So I went to him. I could remember riding my bike down to Wells Square to take my lessons. It could be rain, it could be a snowstorm. I always wanted to learn. I was a sponge, and then I studied with Al Mello, and I outgrew them. And then I had to find somebody I couldn't outgrow, and that was Alan Dawson. Alan Dawson was the world's most foremost educator. You got the most famous drummers in the world studied with him. Steve Smith from Journey, Harvey Mason, Kenwood Denard, Vinnie Colaiuta, you name it, the list goes on and on. And I studied with him, and students were going like bi-weekly. I was going every week. I don't know how I mustered up the money to do it. I was just a kid, So I can remember times when I call him up and say, I don't have the money. And Alan would say, you know what? You come in. You come in because you have something. The first lesson I had with him was at Berklee College of Music in the 60s.
Amazing.
And
at that young
I
age.
studied with Kevin Goodman. And I was taking a bus to Boston. I was 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Taking the bus, and I was all suited up in my attaché case, walking up Boylston Street. And I go to Berkeley, and I knock on Alan's door, and it's this tall guy. Like, I said, oh my God, this is Alan Dawson. And I walk in with my briefcase. He goes, and he hugged me, and he says, just sit down at the drums. Let me hear you play. So I sat down, and I started to play, and he stopped me about 30 seconds in.
And did what?
And he said, you ever the term a diamond in the rough? And I said, what does that mean? He goes like this, you have a lot of talent. You're going to be somebody. You're going to do well in this business. And he said, he was on the road with Dave Brubeck. And he said, I'm going on the road. I want you to call me. He said, I'm going to call you. You give me your number. I'm going to call you. When I'm back off tour, I want you to come in because I want to work with you. And that was the start of it.
More of this amazing discussion in a minute. But first, please like, follow, and share The Phil Show now. Thank you so much. Let me thank the good folks at iGreen Landscape, your one-stop solution for your residential and commercial property management. Whether it's snowing or whether you're mowing, let Team iGreen handle your landscape and hardscape year-round. From spring cleanups to commercial snow management, I recommend the good folks at iGreen Landscape. Call for your complimentary consultation today. That passion, the energy that is in the middle of the love that you have for what you do. Is that the gift from God, or did you have to somehow, like clay, mold it to your own style?
Yeah, you have to. So, my favorite drummer is my mentor is Harvey Mason. That's my mentor.
Why?
Just the way his approach is
What's his approach?
it's always perfect. Everything is always perfect. He's a great reader. He could play any style of music, and he's been one of my closest friends. Matter of fact, he texted me this morning, and he's one of my closest friends, and I look to him. He's been my greatest influence. I look to him for everything, for advice on everything.
Are you your worst critic?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, yes, I am.
Is that
I know when I'm on my game, and I know when I'm off my game. When I'm off my game, it's not good. I carry that for a long time. Like if I'm at a concert and I feel like I don't play well, it bothers me for a long, long time. It never leaves me.
how about on stage when you're in front of thousands of people?
I make mistakes. I just know how to hide it well.
What's it like when you know that the audience is in sync in your groove? What's
When
it
they're
like?
smiling, when they're finger popping, clapping their hands to get up and dance, and I know I'm doing my job. Because as a drummer, that's our job is rhythm. It's got to feel right. The people have to feel what you're doing. Once they do that, then your job is done. So I'm embracing everything right now. I'm embracing this new journey I'm going on now, with the new band. I have such great players in that band too. I have Steve Hunt on keys. He's been playing grand piano and synthesizer. He's played with Stanley Clarke, Adam Tavares for a while. He's played with Angela Bofield. He's played with everybody. I have Marty Walsh on guitar, who's a first call session player in Los Angeles. He's on the 9 to 5 Dolly Parton. He's on all of Christopher Cross records. He was on the road with John Fogerty. He's played with everybody. He's on records with Leanne Rimes. I mean, this guy's an incredible musician. And then I have Danny Morse on bass. And you know what? He's a professor at Berkeley. We have never played together. But I knew it was going to be right. The first rehearsal that we had, which was about 2 weeks ago, we rehearsed all Carlene's material. And we read down 5 charts in 1 hour.
What does that mean to somebody who
Reading
doesn't
the
know music?
Playing with the feel intended. For each piece of music that you're reading, you have to play with the feel intended. And these guys are such great musicians. And I knew from the first note that I played with Danny, we hit the bass drum and the bass at the exact same moment. And I couldn't tell if it was the bass drum or the bass. That's when I knew. And I looked at him and said, this is going to be magical.
What is your definition of success?
Being on time, in tune, and ready to go. It's having a vibe, it's having a great personality, and wear a smile. Because those are the prerequisites. Everyone knows that you have to have talent. That's a must. But those 3 things right there, along, because nobody wants to be on the road with a knucklehead. I'd almost rather play with somebody that has lesser talent,
Yep.
but has the personality and a vibe and wears a smile, rather than someone who's got a lot of talent, just not a good person.
No.
Not good. It's not good.
Do you have a philosophy of music?
The philosophy is those 8 bullet points that I mentioned. And I think the closer that you get to those 8 bullet points, I think you got a shot at success. It's being at the right place at the right time and knocking on doors. Let people know that you can play. I was very lucky. I think my career is based on luck. Tavares, being from my hometown, and being friendly with Tiny and Chubby when they were Chubby in the Turnpikes. I've known those guys when I was just a kid, 14, 15 years old. I remember Chubby telling me when I was 15, he said, someday you can come play with me.
He knew.
He knew.
Did you know back then?
Of course I did. Of course I did. I knew how, what I needed to do to get where I wanted to be was first have the talent and place myself in the right position to show people that I have talent. I knew Tavares, when Tavares hit in 1976 or 74 when Check It Out came out. I knew I was going to be their next drummer.
More of this amazing discussion in a minute, but first, please like, follow, and share The Phil Show now. You can now watch The Phil Show whenever you'd like. Like, follow, and share The Phil Show now. And catch us wherever you catch your favorite podcasts. Like, follow, and please share The Phil Show now with a friend. The Phil Show now. If you're ready to finally make your biggest dreams a reality, let my friend Jared Methia at Milestone Mortgage Solutions get you your next mortgage or your next home loan. Jared is a trusted local loan officer who works with some of the most reputable companies. Jared reminds me if you're a first-time home buyer or maybe you're looking to refinance. He says, go to him. And I, too, recommend Jared Methia, providing you with a stress-free experience. Call Jared today for a competitive rate, for quick approvals, and for one-of-a-kind personalized service. That's Jared Methia at Milestone Mortgage Solutions. How do you want what you have done, Jackie? How do you want your story told?
That I always approach music, approach life the way it's supposed to be. I think mainly with the music thing is just try to be the best that I can be every time I get behind my drum set. It's not always going to come out that way because that's just the way it is.
Jackie Santos, this is why I love you. Your legacy is going to be passed on with all of these people that you have touched.
Well, I do the best that I can, each time that I play and I'm on stage, I give 1,000% of what I have. I don't cheat the audience. I don't cheat myself. I play, with God in mind. God is watching me. He's over me watching me play.
Thank you from our hearts for being who you are.
Thank you so very much, Phil. I appreciate it.
For the energy that your passion, your rare gift has planted and it has grown in the area. That's how love multiplies.
And my son's going to carry on the legacy. My son is a great player, he's a great musician. He's got the personality, he's got the total package.
You want to say hello to any of your friends who've gone on? Give them any message.
The ones that have passed on, Armstead Christian, Tim Ingalls.
Yep.
Baron Brown.
Yep.
Just so many.
What do you tell them?
You know how much I loved Armstead.
Oh, my God.
You were... we had a musical collaboration for over 40 years.
One heart between you.
Yeah. It was a piece of my heart when he left. I'll never forget him.
Is that the part of life that's hard for you?
Yes. When he passed away, I stopped playing clubs. I haven't played clubs since then.
Yep. But your music brings solace.
Yes.
And it brings good memories.
I feel
it brings good feelings.
I feel he's always with me when I play too.
Well, that's why.
Yeah, he's always with me. Tim Ingalls and Baron Brown, those guys. But Armstead, something special. Big part of me left, is gone when he passed on.
Are you good at math? They say music is mathematical. Are you good at math?
Oddly enough, it's funny because I mean,
Huh?
in school, in high school, I wasn't really good at math, but I'm good at reading music. It's crazy, you know. Yeah,
Love
I
it.
mean, back when I was studying with Alan,
Yeah.
my reading was really, really good because I was doing it every day, you know. So now it's dipped a bit because I don't do it as much, but it's still there.
Yep.
You know, it's still there.
Where do you think the music is going to lead?
It's hard to say. I mean, music is changing all the time.
Well, that's the thing.
But I firmly believe that my era of music.
Is it still relevant in
Oh,
today's?
absolutely.
How so?
Well, I think the music of my generation, and you know, it's funny because my students, I give them songs to learn every week, and they have to perform them for me, because music of my generation, you have to be able to read and you have to play the right stuff to serve the song. You know, which nowadays songs are straight ahead. Back then, you had to orchestrate. Is orchestras. You have to orchestrate your part for the song. There's transitions.
What are you saying? Today's music is
It's-
easier or
it's easy,
different?
Much easier. Much easier. You know, back then, you know, with Tavares, you were dealing with orchestras. You know, full orchestras on records.
What does that say for the future of music then?
I don't know. It seems like there's music changes every 5 years or so. So we see what happens. I think, you know, look at you know, when I was doing a lot of session dates, and when the Lindrum drum machines came out, that almost made drummers obsolete. You know, like my friend Harvey Mason, he was top dog. He was first call session playing when the machines came out, dwindled down to nothing. Because what was happening, producers would program the drum part, and then they would play the synth bass, play the piano, maybe they would hire a guitar player. If he played guitar, then he would play guitar on the record. So that would eliminate the musicians, you know?
Are you
But I've always
afraid?
said you can never replace the human element.
But the human element is being confronted. AI. What is going to be the future of music with artificial intelligence, Jackie, that can...
You know what? I think about that all the time.
It can make up a song in less time than we sneeze.
I think about that all the time. It's like 20 years from now, when I'm gone, what's the music going to be like?
That's what I'm
Are
asking.
musicians going to be totally obsolete? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well,
I mean, technology is incredible. What is it going to be like 5 years from now?
it's
10 years from
incredible if it's good. It ain't
Yeah.
incredible if it ain't.
now? Right.
I mean,
But I think people still want to see live entertainment.
sure.
You want to
sure.
see live entertainment.
But things are changing so much now. How will you know that Jackie Santos struggled to put this passionate song together other than, or AI making up a song and you hardly know the difference?
I mean,
it's a
struggle-
scary, it's a really a
Like,
scary image.
struggle makes you stronger, I think. You know, if there's an easy path to success, what have you really learned? You know, I think you have to struggle to learn what to do and what not to do.
So you're saying in order to advance, you have to fall in love with the struggle.
Absolutely. That's what makes you a stronger individual. Absolutely.
Thank you, Jackie
Thank you,
Santos.
Phil.
Like, follow, and please share The Phil Show now with a friend. The Phil Show. They say that music is the language of angels and humans. What you're about to see next proves that right.
I started using a method of where I would play the piano and she would put her hands on top of my hands so she could feel which fingers were doing what. I've never met anybody in my career who has the same depth of understanding of music. Let's go. Are you ready? Music is the way that she communicates, and that's how she makes her place in the world. Now, there's a big step coming up to the piano. Ready? Big step. Good girl.
wonderful. Till next time.